Mazz and Big Jim Murray happen to be off today. So we are joined by Ted Johnson in the Mazz chair. Hi, Ted.
What's up, Michael?
And Kevin Majori in the Update studio. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
Kevin, of the 112 authentic NHL jerseys, of which he's brought in some today. So we're gonna be showcasing some of Kevin's wares. If you're wondering why I have the illustrious Pooh Bear jersey on, and I want you to, spread the wealth here.
Yeah.
Would you you show the people your bag real quick?
Yeah.
That you brought in.
So it's an impressive bag.
He's got a wardrobe of 112 authentic jerseys, but he has a duffel bag. Look at this.
That's amazing.
It is.
Look at this. This is all full of authentic. So pull a couple out. Give one to TJ. Give one to yourself. And we're going to model off Kevin's stuff
very good. Okay.
Today. So that's what we're
TJ,
going to do.
please don't rip any of them.
Okay.
I think Teddy should be able to fit into most of these.
I don't know. Those guns, Felger, I mean, those are spectacular.
All right, but the program is the same. The agenda is set by your wonderful phone calls. We have, we will release the hounds at 617-779-0985. You give us a call on whatever you want, and we just follow your lead. In the interim, we all give opening takes on whatever we want. And then when you're ready, we go to you. So that's the deal. And we played the final call last night of Phillies Braves because Ted wants to talk about the baseball of all things.
Who would have thought, right, Michael?
And holy crap, you filled out that jersey. What is that?
Yeah. Well, I'm a big guy. You know that.
Please don't flex and rip the jersey.
I will not flex.
Smokes.
I will not.
Look at those guns. My gosh.
Yeah. I like the way this fits. I like this.
What is that? Just real quick.
What's that?
What is that?
That's Team
Matthews?
North America. So from the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, Team North America, that's Austin Matthews. They were the group of guys from Canada and the USA that were under the age of 23 or 23 or under.
Okay, so here we go. We're off and running. Ted, what do you want to say about the baseball?
All right, so I never thought that I would spend as much time on that baseball game as I did, but I had to admit I was enthralled by that game. I've always been a fringe baseball fan, very much a novice baseball fan. But most novice fans, when the playoffs come around, that's when you really start to kind of pay attention. You can get into it. But I got to tell you, I was so enthralled with that game. It captivated me from the very beginning, and there's a few reasons why. And it really, the first thing that jumps out at you guys when you're watching that game is all the stars and the personalities. I mean, there are personalities on both sides, everywhere, all over the field. And it was just awesome to watch a game with stars, with personalities. Felger, I mean, it was the hair, the beards, the asses. I mean, there were asses on all of these. I mean, both sides had guys with just these ginormous legs. I had Robin watching the game. I mean, look at this guy. This pitcher, Spencer Strider. Look at the legs on that guy. She couldn't believe, and then Acuna, he's got a caboose. I mean, they all just big hair, big beards, big personalities, big asses everywhere.
Bat flipping, taunting.
And I loved it, Castellano. So there was just something about the players on both sides, particularly the Phillies. I'm not going to lie. The Phillies captivated me. Just the personalities and the attitude. It was an awesome game to watch. It really was. Studs on both sides, great pitching. The backdrop of the Philly fans was incredible. I mean, when they show, Craig Kimball coming off the mound, and the Philly fans cheering. I mean, they're looking. It was drama on top of drama. But here's my final conclusion, guys: is I want what Philly has. I want their players. I want their general manager. We all know that Dombrowski is the general manager. He used to be here. He's put together a team that is really, really impressive, very impressive. And I love the fact that he goes big game hunting. He spent a lot of money on those players. Dombrowski did. You have star players. And then I really like the rule changes in play in the playoffs this year that they implemented the pitch clock. It made the game so much better having a pitch clock. The relief pitchers, when they come in, they show them coming down the dugout, out of the dugout, and then they go to cut commercial. And right when we come back from commercial, he's pitching. He's not warming up still. He's pitching. So the way in which the Phillies kind of approach their operation with Dombrowski, the backdrop of the fans, all the star players on there, and then the changes they made that preceded this season with the pitch clock and the relief pitching, hurrying those guys up, made it for a very interesting product. I absolutely loved it. I was enthralled, and it was a great reminder. Don't give up when it comes to putting pressure on this team on the Red Sox. That's what you guys want. That's what we all want, is to watch the Red Sox at this time of year in that setting. I absolutely loved it, and I thought it was a great night for baseball, and for all of those reasons why. So that's my opening take.
I would just say where we were, we usually have on the TV set when we're at NBC Sports Boston, we always have a big monitor with the ball game on. It's almost always football. Even on an off night, it's the NFL Network replaying a game. We turned off the football last night to watch the baseball. We turned off the Chiefs to watch a baseball game. How many times have you done that? So I agree 100%. Kevin, what do you got?
Sticking with hockey, we'll go with the Bruins. You guys talked about it yesterday after the Bruins season opener. Matthew Patriots played a lot of that game on the third line between Trent Frederick and Morgan Geekie. And this is no knock on the offensive ability on Frederick or Geekie, but you're wasting the talent that Matthew Poitras, at least what you're trying to learn out of Matthew Poitras and the talent that he should have, we think he has after that preseason, by putting him on that line. I understand that, especially in years past with Cassidy and Julian, the Bruins wanted to kind of shelter a young player when they were first in the lineup. You're not sheltering Poitras when you have him with Brad Marchand, who's one of the best two-way forwards in the league, and Jake DeBrusk, who I was looking it up earlier, played 84 minutes on the penalty kill last year. So they're both responsible two-way forwards that have way more offensive ability than Frederick and Geekie. So tomorrow night, I'd love to see the Bruins or Montgomery put Poitras on that line and just see what happens, because he's not going to be not sheltered. They're going to make up. If he makes a mistake, those two are going to recover for his mistakes. I feel like his talent is kind of wasted playing with those guys on the third line. And Charlie Coyle, Trent Frederick, and Morgan Geekie, I was looking this up, they're all 6'3" and over 200 pounds. I'm not saying they're all bashers, but putting on a line of three big guys, 6'3", over 200 pounds, that can wear down other teams as well if they can control the puck, which Coyle's great at controlling the puck. Frederick can play the physical side. I think Coyle's a better match with those guys. Poitras is a better match offensively with Marchand and DeBrusk, who can also, should he make mistakes, can help him defensively. So I want to see Matthew Poitras, a long way of saying, put him on the line with Marchand and DeBrusk tomorrow and see what he can do.
And Kevin, you are who are you wearing right now?
David Pastrnak.
And that is what?
This is the alternate, the Centennial
The
alternate.
current Centennial alternate.
Current Centennial alternate.
Again, we're showing Majori's hockey jersey collection today, if you're just tuning in and curious why we're wearing what we're wearing. And if you wouldn't lead off with the Pooh Bear alternate, you got a big dump in your pants, because this is the greatest hockey jersey of all time. My opening take is on the Patriots. Quickly, this is not a prediction, because if you ask me to predict what is going to happen to the Patriots this weekend and the rest of the year, they are circling the drain. I wouldn't bet them this week. This isn't what I tell you what I think is going to happen. But let me tell you what I want to happen, Ted. You know what I want to happen? And I would headline it by saying, I'm not giving up. I don't want to give up. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. You know what I want? I want them to win on Sunday in Vegas. I want Mac Jones to straighten it out. I want them to get a little wind at their sails. I want them to split the next two, Buffalo, Miami. Don't ask me how. And that's going to put them at 3-5, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then the schedule really sort of flattens, and you have a season, and Belichick shuts a few people up, and they do this whole thing where everyone wrote us. That's what I want to happen. That's what I want to happen. I want them to flip the script, change the narrative, shut everybody up, have a season, claw their way back into it, shut up the doubters, blah us, all of it. And I can hear from you. You write them off again. All that. That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm not giving up on that. And now what does that mean? Does that mean they keep everything in place and that's actually worse for you long term? You might have a case on that. I can't tell you that long term that's necessarily the right thing, because maybe they should bottom out to blow everything up and start anew. I agree. That might be the best course of action. I'm just telling you, I'm not wired to think that way. I'm not wired to think that way. And I'd love to see them turn it around and shut some people up and reestablish themselves. And that's what I'm rooting for, honestly. Not that it's going to happen, but that's it. So we got everything on the board. It is an agenda-free Friday with the Hockey Jersey Fashion Show, and that's it. We're off and running. Let's lead it off with Brian in Boston. Go ahead, Brian. What do you got for us?
Hey, thanks for the first-time caller here. I just want to take a moment and defend Bill Belichick here and go after the owner, Crab. I don't know if you watch SpongeBob. I call him Krusty Krab, because I think he's just too cheap to spend the money and give the tools that Bill Belichick needs to succeed as a team. Kraft was willing to spend $100 down in Florida to give himself a hand, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
But he won't give Belichick a hand by giving him a good receiver like Hopkins. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, I understand. Ted, I do think that the lack of spending is organizational. It's not just Belichick. Everyone wants to blame Belichick. I think Belichick's happy not to spend. Don't get me wrong. He don't want to spend either. But I think Kraft skates a lot of times on the spending. That's all. I mean, I think they can share the blame on that one.
It's amazing that they both have been, I think, aligned in that thinking for a long time. I've always kind of thought as a player that Bill kind of acted as if it was his money. But I think you're right. I think obviously the ownership signs off on that spending.
And by the way, Ted, Kraft's not most owners.
Yeah.
If you went to most owners, all owners, and said, we can win with you spending 75 cents on the dollars, most owners going to take that. So I think Kraft has taken that and maybe taken it too far. But this is if Bill somehow survives, I think this is one of the reasons. He's a great shield for Kraft. I mean, we all blame Belichick for everything. And I do think he deserves most of the credit, but I think he serves as a really nice shield for what's above him.
I totally agree, and that's always been the case. And it is interesting to hear, people, going after Robert Kraft a little bit more. I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. But I think he kind of thinks like Bill has thought, because they've gotten away with it for so long, the not spending because they had a great quarterback. But even Kraft, I thought Kraft in 2021, the offseason spending they had in 2021 was reaction to kind of that was going to be a shift in philosophies. But, and we'll see. They have the most money to spend in this offseason. But I understand people pointing to that as maybe a big reason why they're not as successful. But Bill also, I think, signs off on that as well. So I definitely put more of the blame on Bill.